broth is hot.
All right, now.
Okay, ready now?
Yeah.
The sauce is done.
Uh-huh.
The broth is hot.
Okay.
The pan is hot. I'm going to add my stick of butter. Let that melt in here. Turn my stove on medium.
About halfway up. Okay. This is your famous risotto pot, huh?
Mm-hmm. And this is a 2-pound box of Uncle Ben's original rice, converted rice. I always use Uncle Ben's because it always seems to turn out best.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Nanny showed me anyway. That's all she used. And she was right, as usual. Can't get that open. Cups of rice.
Okay.
What?
I'll go.
Okay. My butter's melted here, and make sure you use butter in all this whole recipe, because if you don't, it don't taste the same, and it's just not right. So I'm gonna take my rice now and pour it in here.
You measured that, and it's 5.5 cups, right?
Yes.
That whole box.
Too bad you can't freeze risotto, but rice doesn't freeze good. You could freeze the sauce. Like if you make that sauce like that, you could freeze it, use as much as you want to, and freeze it if you don't want to make as much risotto as I'm making here. You could freeze the sauce, but you can't freeze the rice after it's done, because it just goes to mush.
Yeah, you can refrigerate it, but you just don't freeze it.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So basically here, what I need to do is to let it toast just a little bit. Shouldn't take too long. I've got the rice in here, and it's starting to turn toasty, and if you're here smelling it, you smell it smells kind of nutty, like a nutty flavor. Nutty smell, or whatever you call it. Mm-hmm. So now it's ready to start adding your broth. So what I do is I take my strainer, set it in the pan, take my ladle, and you'll hear that sizzle. And a couple of them in there. Get that away, that over there. Now it's going to start building its starches, cooking the rice. And as it absorbs the broth, you just keep adding a ladle or two at a time, and let it absorb it, and just keep doing that till the rice is pretty well cooked. Like almost al dente, I guess you'd call it. You can add a couple more. knocking down the rice on the side so we make sure it gets incorporated and gets cooked too. And you can see it needs more broth now because you can see the bottom of the pan there.
About how many ladles full do you think you'll end up using?
I don't know what I used, about 6 or 8 now.
So 4, yeah. How much more do you think?
Well, you know, the rice has got to be
Yeah.
swollen, you know.
Quite a few then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I pretty much used all that broth I had.
Oh,
in there.
really? Okay.
There may be a little left, but not much.
Okay.
I tasted my rice. I've been adding the soup, or the broth, and I tasted it. A little bit chilly, but you don't want to cook it any more than that, because now I'm going to add the sauce.
Gonna add all of it?
Probably.
Uh-huh.
I'll add some and mix it up.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when you make this big of an amount, you usually need it all.
Okay.
Okay, I'll mix this up. Turn it down a little bit. Oh boy. Scrape every little bit of deliciousness out of this pot into here. Okay. And then we'll just let this cook a little bit. And then I'll add the cheese when it's done. Got this stuff all in here. I turned the fire off. I'm going to add my cheese. And this cheese, I had 2.5 cups of cheese grated in here.
It's Asiago cheese. Right?
Asiago, yes. And I'm going to put it in here. And this is to your own taste also, because if you put too much in, it'll be too salty. So I guess if you notice, I never salted anything when after I started this. I didn't salt the sauce or nothing, because that cheese is pretty salty. So that's why I don't do it. Because you could always add salt, but you can't take it out. I'm gonna taste it. And this here you could have on the grated cheese on the table too. You could add it if it doesn't have enough for your taste either. So this is something that could always be added. And basically that's your risotto.
Okay, very good. We're ready to eat.
Yep.
We got our risotto, a chicken, a little cheese, some long bread,
Wine.
our Frontera wine, that's one of my little tacos is a Frontera. It's a nice Merlot. And we're ready.